report to this computer. All right, what's going on, everybody? How's it going? Right, some of you notice that my recording voice is a little bit different than my regular voice, right? Because what I do is I try to raise the energy level like 2 levels up to really match anybody that might be in this room. So if you're not on the same energy level and you feel like I'm a little bit more energetic than you, then do yourself a favor and hype yourself up because this is going to be really, really exciting, right? The purpose of today's class is how to have more impact in 2025 on social media. It's going to be very simple, very easy, very brief, and then we can jump into some questions if any of y'all have any questions. So Heather's here. It's great to see you. Amy's here. Hi, we got Amy here from not Chicago, from Illinois. That's what's up. So we got Florida, Illinois, Texas here in the house. This is really cool. 56 people actually now at this point have registered for this class. There's only a couple of us on here, and it's usually how it is because most people like to sit and watch the recording at their own pace. So what we're going to do is I'm going to break down for you the 4 basics and the fundamentals when it comes to understanding how to be successful on social media. Now, there are a lot of people who have different courses, different programs, different, hey, pay me and I'll show you how to do things. And a lot of those people don't necessarily have the level of engagement that they're promising you to get. And, for me, I don't care if you're a marketer. I don't care if you're a real estate agent. If you're trying to sell me on marketing services and you do not have more likes, more follows, more engagement, and more conversion that you can prove me, frankly, I'm not interested, right? So obviously this class here is not going to be a pitch. For those of you guys who've been here in the past, you know that none of my presentations end in pitches. Frankly, I do not really make money in coaching. The money that I make pales in comparison to my actual income when it comes to what I make selling real estate, right? Because I'm a real estate agent first and foremost. That is what I do, and that's my purpose here in this industry, right? And now, when it comes to what up, Tony, good to finally see you in a class, man. Thanks for popping in. Hope you're doing awesome. So first and foremost, right, we have to understand that as real estate agents, right, a lot of us, the way that we approach this business as real estate agents trying to market real estate. And that is fundamentally flawed. The reason for that is because in order to successfully sell anything, the first thing you have to learn is you have to learn marketing. You have to learn how to understand how human beings work. Once you understand how human beings work, you're then very, very, very easily able to find and identify the human beings that are on your frequency and then figure out the problems that they have and then teach them how you can help them and what you can do to serve them, right? So in the process of doing that, the first most important thing is to understand that as a being in this industry, in order to be successful, you need to look at yourself as a marketer selling real estate, not as a real estate agent trying to market properties. So myself, I embody marketing. This is my goal, right? My goal in this life, I would call it, is to be an expert at being able to get people to take action from things that I share with them, right? Because successful marketing isn't just marketing to people to be known or to be recognized or to become a public figure. It's also very, very much rooted, and the success is calculated based off how many people actually take action based off of what you share with them. So in order to be able to understand and identify how to talk to people when it comes to getting these reactions from people. By the way, there's a slide over here that I did not put into this presentation just because I feel like it's kind of repetitive, but there are some new people here. What qualifies me to actually be able to teach this class is first and foremost, 40% of my business this year has actually been directly from social media. Indirectly, we have about 15%. So in total, you're looking at almost 55% of my actual transactions have came in some sort of form from social media. This year, I'm blessed to be able to walk out the year with just shy of $120 million in total closed sales and close to 150 in pendings. So because of that, right, being able to actually look and audit my social media to see what I'm doing and how I'm doing is how I gauge my success. I gauge my success based off of the conversions that I'm getting, not just based off of the amount of likes, the amount of comments, but the amount of actual business that converts. So in order for me to be able to know exactly who I'm talking to and what I'm doing, the first and foremost thing is getting clear on something called a target audience. So for those of you who have faster reading eyes than I can talk, you can probably speed through this slide and you'll see that the goal over here is to be able to identify your ideal clients. You want to know who are the people that you're trying to market to, who are the people you're trying to talk to, right? So there's 3 big main points when it comes to understanding who your ideal clients are. The first thing is understanding demographics. What are demographics? The age, the income level, the location, and the interest. These are the 4 most important things when it comes to identifying the the demographics of the people that you're trying to talk to, right? So a little bit of fun statistics. Here in Florida, the average home seller in today's day and age is between the age of 35 and 46. So if the average seller is between the age of 35 and 46, then I want to make sure that the content that I'm sharing with them is relative and relevant, right? It's something that they can connect with, right? If I'm going to post, let's say, a throwback to a Led Zeppelin concert, I will very, very much engage those people, right? Even though I've never been to one of those and I wasn't alive really for the big era of those, but at the same time, right, these people were, and these people grew up with that. So being able to sort of communicate with them in a way that they understand, right? The chances of me getting engagement from people in that age group from something like that is a lot higher than me posting a story of Taylor Swift. Well, actually, not necessarily, right? Because Taylor Swift also has been getting a lot of engagement, surprisingly, from people in their mid 40s, right? Which is kind of funny. I guess Taylor Swift is the midlife crisis singer for a lot of people in today's day and age, which is cool, right? But at the same time, like understanding the demographics of the people that I'm working with is extremely, extremely important. So in addition to just the age, it's also the income level, right? Because here in Florida and actually nationwide, I'm blessed to have the title in leadership here with my brokerage as the digital lead for the luxury division, right? So my job is to essentially be able to help people that are in our luxury division. We have about 300 agents, and across those 300 agents, we have just shy of $1.5 billion in total active listings and transactions so far in the last 7 months. So being responsible for something like that, I have to also be able to remind agents that when it comes to identifying people to work with, you have to also make sure that the people you're working with who want to buy these luxury multi-million dollar properties are actually qualified, right? So if I want to talk to somebody about buying a $7.8 million listing that we have or that we're partnered with here in Miami, I have to make sure that these people actually have the qualifications, right? It's not just that they're driving a rental luxury car, but they actually own luxury stuff. They actually have cash. They have money in the bank. So I have to make sure that I'm able to determine who are the people that I am talking to in terms of age, also in terms of income. Now, obviously, it also boils down to location, right? Now, we all know in real estate, the term location, 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 right? It's very important where you choose to be able to sell your real estate, because if you choose and identify an area where the average sales price is low, then your average sales are going to be low. If you choose to identify an area that your average sales prices are going to be more mid-range, $750,000, $900,000, then you're going to ultimately end up, right, working with those people because of the location that you're in. That's when it comes to real estate. When it comes to marketing, you want to be able to figure out where are the people that are buying in your area coming from. So if you have Matrix as your MLS anywhere across the United States, one of the demographics that the MLS collects on closings is where the buyers are from. What state are they from? Where are they coming from, right? And is the intention, for those of you who've closed out listings on the MLS, they also want to know what ethnicity they are, right? And they also ask if it's going to be a primary residence or if it's going to be an investment. These statistics are collected by the National Association of Realtors, and they're actually available on the NAR website. So you can Google NAR buyer stats or NAR seller stats 2024 and then put in your zip code. And there's a 99% chance that the Google algorithm will pull up that direct page on the NAR website where you can go and you can see the demographics of where the people in your area are actually coming from. For instance, here in Florida, last year, a lot of the main buyer demographics came from California, came from New York, came from Texas, and came from West Virginia. Okay, this year it's a little bit different, right? The number one areas that are Googling real estate agents in Miami are actually internationals, right? Colombia, Nicaragua, those types of Guatemala, these types of places are where a lot of international investors are Googling. So believe it or not, one of the things that we did in order to match the location, the age, and the income level of these people is we actually hired an agent who speaks Portuguese. We hired more agents who speak English, who speak Spanish. We hired more agents who speak other languages in order to be able to absorb these types of people. Right now, I'm not going to say go out and learn a new language. I went through and learned a new language in about 18 weeks, and it was extremely, extremely hard. And that was only because I was in the Army and I didn't really have much of a choice, right? But otherwise, like, it's kind of hard to learn a new language right away. So I would say that if you're going and your plan is to target investors, I would partner up with other agents who speak those languages, and I would share with them the value that you got from this class in order for them to be able to level up. Because when you share value with other people, they feel like they owe you something. And when people feel like they owe you something, it's a phenomenal place to be, because then you can partner with them, you can do things with them, and they're incredibly grateful for the fact that you're opening their eyes up to these different things that most other coaches aren't sharing for free. Most people like to put paywalls in front of all the different information that they share, even though they themselves are not actually practicing any of this. Now, these are all things that we're doing ourselves. These are this is an audit that we perform on our marketing every single month, right? We're trying to figure out who are the people that are visiting our websites, who are the people that are filling out our ads, who are the people that are DMing us, and who are the new follows that we're getting, right? So that's that. And then it also obviously has to do with interest. We touched on that slightly just before with the Led Zeppelin thing, but at the same time, it really has to do with what most people are interested in Miami, right? A lot of people are interested in music, right? A lot of people are interested in experiences, and a lot of people are interested in the water, different water aqua sports activities, right? Because these are things that people come down here for. Obviously, that includes the beach, it includes vacation, it includes, all of the fun stuff that Miami and the surrounding areas have to offer. So one of the things that I've been doing recently is I've been making it a point to get out more post like 5 p.m., right? So obviously, like I'm still very bullish about the hour that I go to sleep, and I'm very on top of like, getting up in the morning and keeping my schedule. But at the same time, one thing I've been doing is I've been making it a point to put myself into rooms with other people who are either qualified to purchase or can be a bridge to purchase. Because what I do as soon as I meet the person is I pull out my phone and I do the cool, iPhone tap thing. If they don't have Androids, I kind of crack a joke and then I like make them scan my QR code, and then we connect and we follow each other on social media. Because following somebody else on social media, especially if you're active on posting on your stories and making posts, it's the fastest way to be able to gain and keep your top of mind presence with people. Because the more active you stay, the more people see you. And then people watch their stories literally 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I post stories, and like within 3 minutes, there's like 30 views. And I'm like, what? You people don't have anything else to do but to watch my stories, right? And that's kind of how it is sometimes, because people are literally on their phones and subconsciously, whatever they're doing, right? They're always going to be on Instagram or Facebook, because that's just how their brain works. Because most people's brains, until they learn how to control them, are dopamine addicts. They're literally chasing this little high of seeing something new, of trying to figure something else out. And about 60% of America is actually undiagnosed with ADHD or has been diagnosed with ADHD. And because of that, people hop around in between all these different things. So learning how to play and to be visually attractive to those people is a phenomenal way to be able to stay top of mind. Now, once we understand the demographics of the people that we're talking to, right, we also now want to figure out their goals. What exactly are these people looking to do? So working with millennials, right, and figuring out people who are in their early 20s, right, because this is a very easy demographic of people to work with, because most of the people on this call, sort of fit that age group within plus or minus 5, 10, 15, maybe 20 years. And because of that, right, it's very important that when you're talking to these people, you talk to them on their level. So if a first-time homebuyer calls me and they say, "Hey, Joe, I was thinking about buying a house," and then they answer, and I ask them and I say, "Hey, have you purchased a home before? Have you looked into it? Have you been pre-approved?" And they say no. So I say, "Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to a lender, right? The lender's going to get you pre-approved based off the LTV that you're looking for." The second I say LTV, right, which stands for loan to value ratio, they're like, "What is that?" Right? And then I go, "Okay." And then once you're pre-approved, we can find you a 3-2 with like 1,500 square feet. And then they're like, whoa, a 3 what? And they don't necessarily understand exactly what I'm saying, because I'm talking realtor lingo. So instead, we want to make sure that if we are talking to the people who are necessarily first-time home buyers or investors or sellers, we're using language that matches them on a 5th grade level, okay? On a very, very simple level, explaining it to them. So a 5-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 2,500 square foot home. Why is it called square feet? Because it's a house. So it's not long lines, right? It's a box, right? And we explain that to people in a very, very simple way, especially when it comes to filling out offers, especially when it comes to creating content, which we'll get to in a second. Now, another very big thing that has been very, very helpful for me when it comes to actually converting people from social media over into actually being clients is understanding what they're struggling with and why do they want to work with me. Like, there are people who are more knowledgeable, more experienced, have more sales volume, yes, believe it or not, and at the same time also are more visually attractive than I am, right? Like, let's just call it what it is. So if that's the case, right, how do I make it easy for me to be able to work with these people? It's by understanding the challenges that they're facing and by providing a solution to their problems, because people don't care what doctors look like, right? Because most of the time they're wearing a mask anyways. But when somebody runs into an emergency room, the only thing they're looking for is they're looking for, hey, who can help me? On a plane, they don't go around and they don't look for people who can potentially revive or resuscitate somebody, right? They ask, who's a doctor? And then whoever raises their hand, they just tell them what to do because they are here to solve a problem. Yes, I am likening buying a house to saving somebody, because if somebody buys a house and they don't do it the correct way, they will end up in the emergency room either from stress or from self-inflicted pain because of the fact that they are regretting their choices. It's happened in the past, happened again. And unfortunately, right, that's kind of the case. So it's my job and my responsibility to get in front of as many people as possible, because the more people that I get in front of that I'm able to educate and that I'm able to actually give insights to, which is the next thing that we're going to touch on, the more people will actually be interested in what I have to say, how I have to say it, and then ultimately will want to take action. Are there any questions on this particular slide? Fabulous. So we're a little bit more of an intimate group over here, which is fantastic. So we can stop and we can take a little bit of time to be able to actually answer questions on each slide. It's not going to be that long. It's not going to be that many slides. I don't want to overload you with information. I just want to give you pointers, which will inspire you even to take one little bit of action, which you'll continue running for the rest of the year. So the most important thing now, once you have your demographic, you have your goals, and you understand your clients' pain points, the next thing you're going to want to figure out is what platforms are you going to be talking to these people? What are you going to be telling people, right? And where are you going to be telling them that? So right now, in today's day and age, most people spend the most time on social media on Instagram. Okay, Facebook is like a little bit kind of still competing, but Instagram is really the number one spot that people are spending their time on. So what do I use Instagram for? I use Instagram for visually appealing posts, showcasing different houses. I also show the before and after renovations, and I also show market trends, right? I'm also showing different things in terms of what's going on in the market in order to be able to get people inspired to ask me questions. So by being able to share with them what's going on in the market, literally by sharing statistics and by posting these things on my stories, it's very, very helpful in getting people to swipe up and ask questions. Facebook is an opportunity to build community connections and host live Q&A sessions. For those of you guys who want to see a demonstration of that, you can go to my Facebook page, which is where you probably got this link from to join this class. And you're going to be able to see that I'm in the process of running a 30-day live video challenge, right? This 30-day live video challenge, what that's doing, it's establishing myself as the mayor of my Facebook audience. Why? Because just like the mayor, every single time that there is something that needs to be addressed, he gets on the news and he shares what's going on with confidence, and he talks like he knows what he's talking about without even caring what other people have to say. I'm doing the same thing to my audience by sharing with them different knowledgeable tips, different takeaways, and different places that they can go to have a good time and enjoy themselves, which is something that people would love to do. On Friday, we're actually hosting a Q&A session. So on my Facebook, I am going to be going live, and I'm going to give people the opportunity to ask me any questions that they want in order to be able, obviously, to drum up engagement, but at the same time also to interact and engage with other people to show them that I'm also human just like them. Some people think real estate agents are superhumans because we're literally available all the time, but I want to showcase this to people and show people that I'm a human just like them, even though I outperform them, right? At the same time, it's something that everybody is able to get to if you are willing to put in the time, energy, and effort. And then on TikTok, there are short, engaging videos that simplify complex real estate topics or showcase home tours, right? So for instance, I'm going to say, instead of educating people, you want to provide people with insight. Okay, so the goal for 2025 is to be insightful to people. I want to share, I don't want to be just like everybody else, showing houses or showing things or telling people how to get an FHA loan. I want to more teach people and show people different unique things. For instance, 1031 exchanges, right? When it comes to investors, I work a lot with investors. I would say about 75% of my production this year has been mostly investor focused, right? And that is, you know, obviously with investors, you're dealing with $1 million plus transactions, which are always very exciting and fun, and also sometimes stressful, but that's not the point of what we're going to talk about on this class today. But what we're going to focus on, right, is really how to give people insight to where people themselves are like, wow, I didn't know that, right? If you can teach an investor, or you can teach somebody who's super savvy or who walks around with a really big ego because of what they do in real estate, if you can teach them something new, you will literally have control over them. Because people, when you teach somebody something new, there's a certain level of respect that they subconsciously have for you, which might actually be the reason why some of you are on this call today, right? Because of the fact that I'm able to show you guys different things that you didn't know before, right? And that's the kind of one of the big things as to how we grow our brand, by providing people insight and help when it comes to them growing their business. So that's what I would do on TikTok. I actually have a video on TikTok that's a little old, but the first $1 million house that I got as a lead from TikTok was a video of me talking, saying that we speak 7 languages here in our office. And I was literally talking 7 languages on the TikTok. And somebody went and left a comment and said, do you want to sell a house in Broward County? And I said, yes, obviously. So I went and I sold the house. And it was a property in Fort Lauderdale that sold for $1.2 million, like my first year in the business, which I thought was really cool, right? So ever since then, we've bumped up the volume, almost to $5 million closed from TikTok. So yes, you can definitely monetize TikTok so long as you're not scrolling and you're creating instead. Okay, so we're talking about content, right? We're talking about how to create content, what to do, how to do. Now, please do yourself a favor and do not speed ahead reading this slide. There's a lot of information on this slide. Do not get overwhelmed. Again, I'm trying to be as concise as possible here. So if you want to screenshot this, feel free to do that because you can always go back to it and you could revisit it. The number one type of content to post as a real estate agent is to obviously post property listings. Because how else are you going to prove people that you're in production and you know what you're doing unless you go live and say, hey guys, welcome to this house. Welcome to this condo. Welcome to this building. Welcome to this restaurant. Welcome to this warehouse, right? By sharing with people different property listings. Again, whether or not they're your own doesn't matter. Most of y'all are part of brokerages that believe in that sharing is caring, right? So you are technically able to go to any other listing that is listed by your brokerage, and you can talk about the listing not as if it's your own, but saying that it's listed by your company. And just by saying it's listed by your company, 99% of people are never going to actually care if it's your listing, if it's not your listing. They don't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just the fact that you have access to things that these people don't, and you have knowledge that these people don't have, right? So by being able to showcase the fact that you are involved with these listings and with this and with these different types of properties, and then encouraging and inviting people to reach out to you with their questions is the number one way that we are collecting leads organically on social media. This year, we're going to be topping out our ad spend at about $285,000, across all platforms. I like to spend about 20% of our company's income on marketing because I believe that that's very, very important. And the number one thing that we've been running ads from, recording videos from is property listings, literally houses. Right now we have 17 active listings on the MLS and I have 6 that are pending, right? So every single one of those properties, we go and we grab a video and either I post it on my story. If it's a video that I kind of don't really want to, share, and I don't want people to come back and see that I represented this type of property, or I'll post them as a post, or I'll have an agent on our team go and post it as a post, or I'll just record the video and run it as an ad. There's so many different options to be able to post property listings. Also, Facebook Marketplace, phenomenal place to go. Craigslist, if you guys are bougie enough. Like seriously, there's enough places to be able to go and get things rolling, right? Number one thing. The second thing on my list for this year in terms of the most engaging quality content is tips and advice, right? Like how to do certain things. So how to prepare your home for sale, or the top mistakes to avoid when buying a home. These 2 videos for us have been the highest performing, what do we call them? The highest performing attention grabbers, the highest performing hooks on our videos. Craigslist is still a thing, believe it or not. It definitely is still a thing. We actually have a system that we use to create something called a trigger link, which is whenever somebody goes to Craigslist and finds one of our ads, if they click our link, we actually collect their name, phone number, and email without them having to actually even fill out a form, which is kind of lit. So that's a great way for us to be able to go back and target people. We don't necessarily call them. We'll add them to something called a target audience database, and then we'll start just retargeting them with videos, right? It's another way for them to be able to feel like they see us everywhere. And then in 2 months from now, we give them a call. They're like, yeah, I know you guys, which is a very cool way to walk around doing that. Bless you. So when it comes to market updates, right? Market updates are also a very, very powerful thing. If you go back to my live videos, and you also go back to my last live videos, and you also go back to my last live videos, you'll see that every other Friday I go live and I share a market update. So I actually have a spreadsheet, which if you want, you can message me and I'll share it with you gladly. It's a spreadsheet that all I do is I input the MLS data of what has closed, what has sold, how many listings have come to market. And then the spreadsheet for me generates the 3 different main stats. The first stat that it generates for me is what's the actual temperature of the market, right? How hot is this market? Are we in a buyer's market? Are we in a seller's market? How many transactions have closed? And then how many months of inventory are available, right? So most people don't understand how months of inventory work. So if you're able to actually break it down for them, this might be the insight that you'll be able to provide to your clients, right? And what does months of inventory mean? What we do is we go back 12 months and we look at the amount of listings that we had available this time today last year. We then also look at how many listings actually closed and sold this time today last year. We then go to the amount of listings that are available today on the market, and we go to look at the amount of listings that are pending on the market. And then we also look at the last closings for the last 30 days. Based off of that, what we're able to see is we're able to see exactly how many houses are selling, and then run a percentage analysis. So if there's 1,000 listings that were available last year and 700 of them sold, clearly we are in a seller's market, right? If there are 1,200 listings, right? So right now, really, really cool stat. In Miami-Dade County, right, over $900,000, which in Miami-Dade County is the median list price for properties. Well, sorry, one more time. In Miami-Dade County, $900,000 is the median list price for luxury, right? So anything over $900,000 is considered luxury here in Miami-Dade County. There are 1,300 properties that are currently on the market. Okay, so of the 6,500 listings that there are in our MLS, 1,300 of those are considered luxury. Now, last month, there were only 83 closings over $1 million. Okay, so if there were only 83 closings over $1 million, what does it tell me? It tells me that the market is actually like not really performing when it comes to closings, right? Because only 7% of the market sold, which is kind of crazy if you think about it, right? Now, let's go back to where listings were this time last year. This time last year, there were only 1,100 listings on the market, right? And 140 of them sold, which means that yes, technically speaking, right, the market is a little slow, but it's only slow relative to inventory because we almost have 25% more inventory available. So if there's 25% more inventory available in this space, but there's a higher amount of closings, the higher amount of closings isn't going to change the stat because there's still more listings available. So by being able to explain this both on camera and also to sellers, you're going to close more listings. I know because I used this. I was competing against an expired listing earlier on this week, and I pulled out this report and I explained in the stats. Not only did I list the property, but I listed the property for $200,000 less than what it was listed for last time. It was listed for 1.7. We listed it for 1.5 because I explained to the sellers that if they're going to list at 1.5 when the market is kind of like not really so hot, what's going to happen is the people who are looking in this price range are going to come here and look. And yeah, they might lowball you, but at the same time, at 1.7, you're not even going to get any traffic. So we may as well do that, right? And by being able to explain that to a seller, by being able to explain that on video, by being able to put that on social media, it's very helpful with conversions. By the way, do not ever, ever, ever talk about stats or market updates in a post. Always, always, always make it on video. People need to understand what you're saying, and the best way to do that is to articulate it, not to type it, because a lot of times, speech to text, you actually lose a lot of the intonation, the characteristics, and the expressions when it comes to try to actually talk to people and get conversions. Behind the scenes. So this is also something that's been kind of fun. We've done this a couple times on our live video challenge, and I do this fairly often on my stories where I'll show people a day in the life, right? There's a new trend going on right now. It's called Get Ready With Me. A lot of people will go and they will, film a video. Not necessarily is it the most professional type of videos, just keeping it real. But at the same time, there's different ways to do it, right? Because instead of saying, get ready with me and it's 6 o'clock in the morning and you're getting dressed, you can do a get ready with me for a listing appointment. This is what I do in order to get ready for a listing appointment. I collect 5 different pieces of paperwork. I do a listing agreement. I do a market report. I do a property report. I do a market trends analysis. And then I also do a paper that we have which we basically tell sellers what our responsibilities are going to be to them, right? So these are 5 different documents that we use in order to be able to win every single listing appointment that we go on. Okay, that was kind of a lie. We win one of every 2. So we have a 50% closing rate on all of our listing appointments. We're working on getting every single one, but listen, not everybody could be perfect. So that's kind of how that is, right? Now, another big thing that by the way, let's just be a little graceful to ourselves, right? Like when it comes to doing all of these things, like give yourself some credit for everything that you've done so far. And yeah, listen, remember, if Joe can't be perfect, you also probably can't be perfect, right? And because of that, like give yourself some grace when it comes to doing the things that you're doing. If there's anything over here that you see that you really, really, really wanted to do, but for some reason kind of fell off the map, now's the time to go back and recommit to that. Behind the scenes videos showing a day in the life of a realtor in terms of now you can show, hey, I get up at this time, I go to the gym, I do this, this is what I do, this is how I cold call, this is how I, and these are different things that also help when it comes to building authenticity, when it comes to showing people, hey, I'm a real human being just like you, right? Which these types of things also tie into sharing success stories, because if you have a video from a client, if you have a testimonial from a client, right, you're able to share that and you're able to tell people, hey, look, find out why your friends are happy with me. Find out why your friends are excited with me. Find out why your friends are choosing to work with me. Swipe up or click this link or fill out this form, right? And then you work with those people because of the fact that you're leveraging something called social proof. You're basically proving other people that you have a social status with other people that they know, like, and trust, which then automatically bypasses a lot of those qualifications. So when it comes to actually creating the content. The first and most important thing is to make sure that you use high quality video. The video that you're using, if you're going to use your phone, make sure that the video is set to 4K, okay? Not HD, not 1080, to 4K. You want to get as high quality of a video as possible. If you're standing in a busy area, wear an AirPod or buy yourself a mic. They're literally like 80 bucks online. If you don't have 80 bucks, get out of this industry. You go and buy yourself a mic. Go and get yourself a mic that you can plug into your phone that you can use when you record videos. It literally will increase the quality of your content by 100%, and people will actually stop and listen to you because they can hear what you are saying. Now, on top of that, obviously, it's also very important that you write engaging captions. And one thing that I did not put in here was hashtags, because hashtags are not as relevant as they used to be. They're really not as relevant as they used to be. They're just kind of there to give you an anchor to make it easy for people to search you up. And it does come up on SEO, but it has nothing to do. SEO stands for search engine optimization, which is when people go and Google you. For instance, if you guys want to see what good SEO looks like, go and Google my name on Google. Literally, go Google my name, go Google my phone number, and you'll see that I come up in the first 5 pages of Google. That is all SEO. It's all organic, by the way. I don't spend $1 on Google, and I always come up on the first page because that's all about the strategy as to how you do that. I teach that in a separate class, and it's actually available on YouTube. It'll be the same playlist that this replay will be so that you can find that. A great microphone for your cell phone would be something called a lavalier mic, okay? This type of mic is a microphone that you can literally just go to Amazon and you can find a DJI microphone. You can find a Rode microphone. These two companies are really, really good. They range about, again, $80 to $100 for a single mic. You can get double microphone sets. They're all really, really cool. Go grab one, get one that clips onto your shirt. Those are the best. Those are really, really clear, and it's very, very easy to use. Sometimes you forget that you're mic'd up, which is also kind of fun. And then at the same time, what you can also do is you can ask people, hey, what do y'all think about this, right? Or how do you feel about this? Or what do you know about this, right? Live streams are so underrated that people don't even realize, because what you don't understand is that when you do a live video, if 500 people see that video, then there's 500 people who are getting to know your face, who are getting comfortable with your voice, and who are learning your mannerisms. Because if they learn or they watch enough of your videos, then people are going to feel comfortable around you. And the craziest thing about me, the biggest compliment that I get these days is, Joe, you're the exact same thing online as you are in person. And that's 100% the case, right? Like when you're the exact same thing that you are online as you are in person, and you're the same person in person as you are online, people see that, people respect that, people love that, and people connect with that. Because honestly, in today's day and age, it's very, 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 very rare to find. Now, I've mentioned live videos. I've mentioned the live video challenge. I've mentioned posting reels. Video marketing is the #1 way to get conversions. It's the #1 way to get eyeballs right now. The average American in today's day and age watches 3.7 hours of video every single day. It's up from 2.5 hours this time last year, which is kind of crazy. Okay, so the average American, you have to remember, also has something called a TikTok brain, which means that they have a 3.5-second attention span. So what you have to do is you have to create engaging hooks, and you have to create engaging content, right? So never start off a video like we used to start off our videos with these fancy photos of drone shots of buildings. People don't care. What people care about is, this house is $7 million. This house can give you this. This is what this area has to offer. By using an engaging hook to get people's attention, you'll get them to be able to watch the entire video, right? So one of the things that we invest and we spend a lot of money on is our home tours, okay? Every single one of our listings receives at least one reel, okay? And again, not necessarily am I using the same photographer that I'm using for photos that I'm using for the reel. I'm using, most of the time, it's two completely separate people. And my videographer and my photographer, they both want the other business. And I tell them, listen, if you want my business, you're going to get this business, and you're not going to get the other business because you suck at that business and you're good at this business. So focus on what you're good at. And they don't like hearing that. But as a business owner, it's important for me to understand where I can get the best conversions and where I can, actually get the best bang for my buck. So virtual tours are really, really cool. And then, there's the new trend now is to, for people to hear that you're holding a microphone and to talk over the tour, right? So that's like a very trending audio type of doing that now. Again, an educational video explaining something under 60 seconds. For instance, what's an assessment? What is an HOA assessment? What does a due diligence look like, right? What does environmental due diligence look like for those commercial people on the call? What does condo approval look like? What's an escrow account? right? Why do you have to send escrow before you're doing an inspection? What's an inspection period? All these different things are things that are called pillar content. You're able to create the video once and it will never go out of style. Reels and TikToks, right? You want to make sure that you're using trending audio. Hashtags are cool on TikTok, on Instagram, not necessarily. But again, at the end of the day, the goal is to try to increase your visibility by using things that are trending. So for instance, right here, right now, if anybody wants to film a video with me, by the way, today here in Brickell, I am on my way to 1060 Brickell, which is a building that just got hit with a massive, massive, massive assessment, and nobody knows why. So I'm gonna go there, and we're gonna do some, just real research, try to figure it out, maybe try to talk to a resident or two, blur out their face, make something cool and engaging, with the hope of, Miami people getting involved and cursing at HOAs in my comments. Like, I think that'll be amazing if I get a bunch of people who are angry at HOAs to come and to engage in my comments. That's just the strategy over here. So let me know with that, right? When it comes to social media ads, so there's a couple of things that I want to caution when it comes to social media ads. First of all, many people don't know how to use social media ads. Okay, many people don't know how to use them, and most people that I talk to when I ask them, "Hey, are you marketing or something?" Go, "Yeah," and I say, "Okay, so what are you doing?" And they say, "Well, you know that boost button on the bottom of my video? I press the boost button, and then I just give Facebook $20, and yeah, that's what I do." And I go, "Okay, well, does that help you? Have you seen convert?" "Oh no, but I gained 5 new followers," and I'm like, "Bro, you're literally spending like $2 to get a follower. Like, that's kind of silly, right?" So again, same exact idea as what we were talking before. I do teach another class on how to build out a social media account on Facebook. It's about 2 hours long and it's sitting on YouTube. It'll be in the same exact playlist that this video will be in. So you can scroll through that playlist and you can see it. It's a step-by-step live build out so you can copy that along. This is where, most people will choose to either hire us to build it out or choose to hire us for coaching so we can show them how to do it. We're not currently accepting any clients right now, so please don't even think that this is a pitch because we're not pitching anybody. So social media advertising can really boost your reach, right? Targeting is very important. On Facebook, you can only really target people 15 miles and above in your radius. So, and by the way, on that topic, in the build out, I do show you how, if you are on the coast or if you are like for instance here in Florida, how you can shorten that radius, right? And how you can make that radius even smaller, especially if you're targeting people who are on the water. Some really cool tricks over there just by using a zip code, right? So you can use location-based targeting. Another thing that we do over here is retargeting, right? And I have a strategy. It is the idea behind it, basically, it's called Cerberus, right? And the idea behind it, for those of you guys who go, or either if you're familiar with the medieval Roman Empire, or if you go and you Google the word Cerberus, Cerberus was actually a 3-headed dog that spat fire, right? And the way it works, or the way the legend has it, is that whenever somebody would try to run away from its owner, the dog's head would extend to go and grab them, and if it wasn't able to catch them, it would spit fire, right? So the strategy behind it is that whenever somebody comes to one of my landing pages, whenever someone comes to one of my ads, if they don't fill out the form, they're going to get retargeted with another video. And the video literally says, "Hey, you saw me once before, and for some reason you didn't take action. Now's your next opportunity to take action. Click the link below and let's get you started on your home buyer journey." That's the entire video. It's that simple. It's that easy. You don't need that much production. You don't need editing. You don't need anything. You can film it in one take. Very simple, very straightforward. So retargeting is really, really cool. With Facebook, you can also build out something called the Facebook Pixel, which you can connect to your website. So like that, anybody who visits your website will automatically be retargeted with different video ads. I strongly, strongly recommend that retargeting ads are done with video and with video only and are kept in 15 seconds or less. Lead generation. So lead generation on social media is actually very, very easy. In that same Facebook build out that I did before, what you're able to do is you're able to connect something called a Facebook lead ad form or an Instagram lead ad form. And when people click that learn more button on the bottom of the ad, it populates into a form that they give you their name, their phone number, their email, and then you can also put in some custom questions. So if you've been considering building that out, 2 questions that we use that are extremely, extremely helpful with converting clients. The first one is, do you have a home to sell? Because if somebody says yes, then boom, congratulations, you just picked up a seller and a buyer lead, which there's no greater pleasure that a real estate agent has than being able to represent a client on a sale and then on a buy. It's awesome. You get paid like multiple different ways. Very, very exciting. Everybody loves that. That's the first thing. The second thing is, have you been out with a real estate agent to see a home in the last 30 days? That's a very, very relevant question, especially given the fact that people have buyer brokerage agreements. and these different contracts that may or may not actually hinder your ability to work with them. So we want to make sure that the people that we're working with are people that are actually qualified, people that are interested, and that they're not out working with an agent. If they do answer the question yes to are you currently out, or have you gone out to see a home in the last 30 days, the first question you're going to ask them is, hey, so as you know, I'm a real estate agent, and I'm wondering, are you currently working with a real estate agent at the moment? And if they say yes, you say, okay, have they signed an agreement with you? And if the answer is no, then they're not currently working with a real estate agent, even if it's their friend. They're not working with a real estate agent. And it's important for you to educate them on that. Obviously, you don't want to mess up your karma, so you never want to tell them, hey, you can just work with me. You want to explain to them that the fact that their real estate agent didn't take the time to sign an agreement with them means that their agent doesn't really value their business. Why? Because a buyer brokerage agreement, in as much as it's making sure that my clients pay the commission, which, by the way, for some weird reason, that's the only thing that clients know about the buyer brokerage agreement is, oh, now you're going to make me responsible to pay your commission. What they don't realize is that there's an entire page of broker responsibilities. There's literally an entire page in that agreement that says, as your broker, I'm responsible to find listings for you, send you listings, negotiate on your behalf, make sure that we have a fiduciary. There's so many different things. So this is also a video that you can record that can show people, hey, the buyer brokerage agreement, the first page, yes, it says 3%. But at the same time, like, what about the second and third page? Like, these are my responsibilities to you, the most important parts, right? So this is how we would use social media ads. Now, when it comes to actually like having content that works, it's very important. And I honestly sometimes am guilty of this, which is why we have an entire social media department on the back end in our Angel team, our virtual assistant team. When you make a post and you get like 50, 60 comments, like yesterday, for instance, I made a post celebrating like sobriety and I got like 100 comments, right? Those comments are still not replied back to, which is bothering me right now, right? Later on today, though, they'll all be replied to, right? Not by me, but by my team. And what'll happen with that is when you go back and you tag somebody and you say even thank you, or you leave a hands emoji, or you leave any sort of response, it makes people feel like you're relatable. It makes people feel like you're touchable. It makes people feel like you're like they can actually talk to you and you're a real human being. So responding back to comments and replying back to messages promptly is very, very important. Some of us, we like to kid ourselves and we like to say, oh yeah, I'll get back to it eventually. I'm going to make time later on in the day. That time never comes. I'm telling you from experience. So it's very important that if you get a message, you get something right now, you're going to like just reply back to it right away. The average live video should be between 3 and 5 minutes. Okay, that's just replying back to Cheyenne. The average live video should at the very minimum be 3 minutes. And the reason for that is that it takes Facebook about 60 seconds to send notifications to your friends, fans, and followers that you're actually live. Right. And then also, the more time you spend on the live, obviously, the more Facebook will favor it because A, you're creating content for the platform, and B, the longer you're going live, it probably also means that you have something valuable to share with people, especially if they have comments, right? And one of my favorite things to do on live videos, if any of you guys have watched my live videos, is my favorite sentence. If you're watching this on my live, leave me a hashtag live. And if you're watching this on the replay, leave me a hashtag replay. The reason for that is not just because I need the validation, but it's also so if somebody leaves that comment, I can always go back to the comment and I can reignite the post. If somebody leaves a hashtag live, I shout them out and I say, hey, thank you so much for watching this video. I appreciate you. Hope your day's going awesome, right? And then at the same time, when they do leave that comment, I'll go back to it in 6 hours and be like, hey man, so great to see you, right? So I'm just using and I'm playing on their dopamine receptors because they're getting the validation both on the video. Oh my God, Joe said hi. And then also at the same time, it's also the fact that I'm going back and I'm tagging them in the comments, right? Which is, something that both it helps me because it reignites my algorithm in terms of the exposure of the post. But at the same time, it also helps me with them one-on-one level because now we're also building the relationship. Engaging with followers by liking and commenting on their posts. We have something here called the 55-55, right? The 55-55, if you want to grab a pen, if there's one thing you want to take away from this class, 5 days a week, 5 new friend requests, 5 new comments, 5 new messages. The messages are video messages. The video message says, hey, it's a pleasure to connect with you. Let me know if there's anything I can do to be of help. Keep being awesome. That's the whole video, right? I don't want to ask you for business. I don't want your referrals. I don't want you to come over to my house. I don't want you to come to my, nothing. I just want to let you know that I'm here if you need help. And most people are like, damn, first of all, most people never get a video on social media, period, direct. And then somebody offering them help on video is also kind of cool. If any of you guys, by the way, have been connected with me for more than 6 months, chances are you probably had your birthday and you probably got a birthday video from me directly in messages. This is something that for me is the #1 converting strategy when it comes to working with people on social media. The little secret that what we have is sending them videos. And no, it doesn't have to be personalized. And no, it doesn't have to be overly produced. Literally, it's a video of me standing in Denver, Colorado, in front of like some monument somewhere, recording a video. And I threw it into CapCut and I got captions put on it. Then the angels send that video every morning. And because I have 5,000 friends, chances are every single day there's between 5 and 30 birthdays. And all we do is we just send that message out to people. No text, nothing. And people are like, whoa, that's so cool. Some people are like, hey, I've never gotten this video before. This is awesome. You made my day. Right. And we just heart the message and we reply back to them, make it a great day. Right. That's like one of the things that we have going. And when you do that and you take the time to do that, even if it only takes 2 minutes, people feel special. People feel validated. And the #1 need on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, for those of y'all who are into that type of stuff, is validation. People need to be seen. People need community. People need love and acceptance. These are things that people need. So by giving this to people subconsciously, they're automatically going to start knowing you. They're going to start loving you. They're going to start trusting you just because of the fact that you care. Most people are one question, one phone call, one experience away from either being completely broke or completely breaking down. Literally, like the average American right now does not even have $100 in the bank. They're living paycheck to paycheck. And the average American right now is dealing with so much stress because of stupid decisions that they've made over the last 2 years. And it's all stacking up right now. So if this is how this is working, right? Being that person to care. And again, I'm not saying go awaken your empathy and go become an empath and spend an hour on the phone with someone who's broke because you care. No. Don't do that. As much as you care, don't put them before you, right? So you want to make sure that, hey, listen, I care, I do, but you've got to also understand that, like, I have a class to get to and I have some dials to do. So hit me up. We'll be in touch, right? I hope things get better for you. That's just it. Just showing them that you care. Don't just say it to say it. Don't be like one of those, people who just says things or fake smile type stuff. Don't do that. Empathize with them. Give them the 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes, but then bounce. Because you have better things to do with your time. Not better things because they're not good enough, but better things to do for your future. Because those people had the choices. They had the opportunities. They made those decisions. So it's important to remember that. Another big thing that we do is collaborating with local businesses. Day 12 of the 30-day live video challenge, every single person went to 100%. 100%, Chanel, I agree with that. The energy is the most important asset that you have. And the coolest thing is that every single action that you take in life is an energy. If you create it the right way and you do it the right way, it's literally an energy. So just by putting it out in the world, right, is a way for other people to be able to connect with it, which is why we create content like that. People can connect with our energy through our content and don't have to clog up our calendar unless they're making us money. So collaborating with local businesses or influencers. I'm not really a big fan of the influencer thing. I've done a couple of them and they're not really all that converting in the beginning, especially just because people's audiences don't necessarily know. They don't know. They're not sure. But when it comes to going to a local business, actually, when I was in Texas last week, we did a live video, right, talking about a local business. And here in Florida, we did another one, right? And I'm going to continue doing these. Going to a local business, for instance, right here in Brickell, there are a couple different coffee shops that are literally crack for like 50% of the people that are living here. Like everybody goes to these places every single day, right? Panther Coffee, for instance, or Pura Vida. These are 2 different restaurants that, first of all, they should start paying me royalties, but also at the same time, they're very like just Instagrammable type places, right? So people like to go there and just hang out and just do things, right? So by collaborating with businesses like that, even not necessarily a big brand name, but mostly mom and pops, like those of y'all who are in Texas, mom and pop shops roll over there. So you want to maybe try to find 1 or 2 of those. Those of y'all who are in Florida, let's bring back the mom and pop thing, right? Like let's try to go back to local businesses that are, just working as a family and really try to like just showcase them, because those people, they actually really, 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 really like appreciate it, because there isn't, today's day and age, to get exposure costs money, and not necessarily are they making the money, which is why they need the exposure. Another big thing that a lot of us don't do, which is actually a lot more important than actually creating the content, is analyzing the content and seeing the type of engagements that you got. If you make a post and you get 1 like, again, there's nothing wrong with the 1 like, especially if it's a brand new post, especially if you're just starting to do this right now. But if you get 1 like after your 10th video, maybe you should start doing something a little different, right? And if you're not getting any comments, even from your friends or even from the people who like you go and you blow up their comments on their posts, maybe you should start doing something a little different, and you should get new friends, right? Like these are different things that you have to monitor, right? Like there's always another level deeper. So yes, you can always, just focus on social media, but social media shows a lot of things about a lot of people in a very real way. So your engagement rate, your reach and impressions, your CTR, which is your click-through rate for links, and then your conversion rate. Your conversion rate is more for paid ads. Your click-through rate is more for paid ads. Your reach and impressions are more to do with your Facebook account directly. And your engagement rate has to do with specific posts. I have been flagged from Facebook across the board. Currently, I'm not able to do live videos on my own personal account. I'm not able to run ads on my own personal account. And I'm not able to make phone calls on my own personal account. That's what happens when you argue or you prove a point with people in real estate groups that are broke. They literally have nothing else to do with their time, but they're going to report you because you hurt their feelings, and they don't like the way you're making them feel. So they go and they report you, which is okay. It's happened before. It'll probably happen again. But guess what? We have other Facebook accounts and we have more Facebook ads accounts. And I actually happen to have a personal Facebook ads rep. So all I had to do was make a quick phone call and they showed me what to do and how to get around it. They can't reverse the bans, but they can tell me where to go and what to do in order to be able to avoid that, which is why you'll notice that my live videos these last few days have been done using one of the Birthday Angels Facebook accounts. And I just tag myself. So it shows up on my profile. I'm still checking off the challenge. I created the challenge rules. So, we added another rule there in the event that you got banned, and that's that you just have to go and tag yourself and still make the video, which is what's happening. So, these live videos have been really, really, really good and really, really engaging, especially the video that I made. I was backstage at Rolling Loud. I'm not a big fan of any of these big, like massive concerts or festivals or anything, but I felt that it was really cool that I was backstage at Rolling Loud because one of my friends, invited me, which was awesome. I got to meet Travis Scott, which was really dope. Wait, I'm not supposed to say that word on classes. It was really awesome. And it was just really cool. So, being able to stream that and show that, then I was able to go and show my friend's restaurant, which he had like a booth there, which first of all, like built mad street cred with him just because of the fact that he was like, dude, like you came all the way here and you could be backstage, but instead you're hanging out with me. That was awesome. And then at the same time, my friends were like, dude, that's really cool. I didn't know that he had this restaurant. I didn't know that this is what he did. Right. Most people just think he's an events and catering business. So that was really cool to be able to do. Now, I want to talk to you guys a little bit about trends. We are coming up towards the top of the hour. We are probably going to go a little bit over time. So if you're not cool with that, that's okay. You can bounce and we'll get you the replay. And if you are cool with that, thank you for being awesome. So, starting just when coming back and up and learning and understanding how to just figure out how market trends work. Okay. So right now there are some really, really big buzzwords online. These are AI and AR and niche. Do you say niche? Do you say niche? No one knows. No one cares. It doesn't matter. Okay. The point is that you have to really buckle down when it comes to doing and figuring out these things. Most people, they think you have to just focus on, covering the entire everything that's going on in Miami, cover everything that's happening over here. It's totally okay to have one specific little area that you're focusing on. That this is what's called a hyper local focus. Okay. For instance, Brickell, right, is a city over here in Miami. Brickell is about 3 square miles. That's the entire size of Brickell. That's it. However, for some reason, it is the most spoken about and the most trending neighborhood in all of Miami-Dade County, just because of the explosive growth that it has. And a lot of people like to compare it to Manhattan. I just think it's a better Manhattan. So, because of that, like, that's why I talk about it a lot. It's why I live not too far away from Brickell. I live right over the bridge, right? Because Brickell doesn't have any water, and I need to live next to the water because water inspires my creativity. So living on the water, I'm in a different, like I'm right over the bridge, but we're right here, right? This is the community that I'm in. This community only has 9 buildings on it, okay? We're 0.5 miles. We're literally a half a mile, like not even square because we're an island, but we're 9 buildings. So off these 9 buildings, how many people do you think live in every building? Maybe 1,000 people? Okay, so there's a 10,000 person audience that I'm working on. A 10,000 person audience is a lot more manageable than a 100,000 person audience. Wouldn't you agree with me on that? The numbers are smaller, which means that I can have more impact. So using tools like AI. I am not a fan of using AI to create content. I believe that using AI to create content is the equivalent of really giving people like me the advantage of being able to continue creating content, because you're essentially taking the creative part of your brain and you're shutting it down. You're allowing a computer to tell you what's good. Now, asking AI to refine your content once you've came up with an idea, asking AI to polish your content, that's a different story. Our team uses that all the time because I come up with these ideas, I send a voice message, right? And my team has no idea what I'm talking about. So they transcribe the voice message and then they can plug it in to an AI model, and then they can get these ideas and figure out how to do it, right? AR, okay? So augmented reality. This is something that, for those of you guys who are familiar with the Ray-Ban Meta collab, the glasses that Ray-Ban did together with Facebook. I've actually used those in the past on my Facebook live streams. I did it a couple times at some Jewish weddings. I've done it at home tours. And it's really cool to be able to get the point of view, of a person standing and walking around. It's a different form of augmented reality. It's not like actual AR, but at the same time, it gives people a little bit more of a feeling that they're in the area. It gives people more of a feeling as if they're walking through the house themselves. So that's also really cool to be able to do. Especially when it comes to analyzing market trends, because then again, you can turn around and say, guys, I'm testing this out. This is really cool. Let me know what you think in the comments, all that type of stuff. Now, to tie all this together, okay, you want to take your social media and you really want to build a personal brand. Now, what does a personal brand mean? A personal brand isn't a logo. A personal brand isn't, what your sign looks like. It's not what your social media looks like. A personal brand is the style that you work. People know that I am loud. People know that I am intense. People know that sometimes I'm a lot to handle, and I'm totally okay with that, right? Because that's literally who I am. Like, I am not going to change who I am to be more manageable online, right? So that's what I played into. My brand is intense. My brand is literally black, white, and red. Like, it's in your face. We are here, right? I will call clients at the very minimum once every 72 hours, right? And whether it's a call, whether it's an email, whether it's a text message, right? Because I tell people, hey, listen, I am very, very intense and I'm very on top of my game and I'm really trying to make things happen, right? So if you're signing up to work with me, the reason why you're signing up to work with me is because you know that I will not stop until you either tell me to stop or until we find a property that you want, right? So having that style is a certain way that people grow to know you, love you, and respect you. And then at the same time, having a certain tone. The way I used to carry myself was very loud, very just swear words and all that type of fun stuff. But then I learned that when I opened an office in Texas, that people in Texas are, bless your heart type people when it comes to swearing. So we have to be very careful with how we talk and what we say, because otherwise, wow, I just started talking about swearing and someone disappeared. But in reality, though, you really have to know the audience and the people that you're talking to, right? Now, sharing personal stories and experiences, sharing more about yourself, sharing more about different experiences. This is a way that you can do this in, live videos. Like, there are people who have been through some crazy experiences that don't ever want to share them, and that's okay. But highlighting certain experiences or highlighting certain things, again, in order to be able to show people that you are just like them, that you have emotions just like them, and you're doing things just like them, are very, very important. Now, I would say probably the most important thing to cap all of this off is positioning yourself as a local expert. What does it mean, positioning yourself as a local expert? It's giving people the impression, giving people the understanding, giving people the idea, and giving people the confidence that if they're going to reach out to you for help, you're going to be able to help them, right? So for instance, here in Florida, a lot of people want to buy investment properties that are able to be rented out short term. So what do? I actually have a list of short-term properties that are available by county. So by sharing that list with people on WhatsApp groups or on emails or online on social media, people automatically assume that we're the experts in the short-term rental space or that we're the experts in the luxury space because of what we're sharing, because of what we're putting out there, and because of the topics that we choose to cover, because most people aren't covering them. Now, once we have all of this together, it's obviously very important to make sure that everything that you're sharing and everything that you're talking about is very authentic. It's very real, right? Don't put on any facades. Facades go on houses, not on people. It's very important to make sure that everything that you're saying, everything that you're doing really matches who you are, not just who you are online, but also who you are in person. Because it'd be very, very weird if somebody got to know you and then they meet you in person and you're just a completely different person, right? Like those real, shout out to those real estate agents who have like profile photos of them in like 1974, and then you go and you show up now and it's like, whoa, what happened, right? Like, this is part of the authenticity and transparency. A lot of people, they want to look a certain way, but they're not willing to put it in. I saw a meme the other day that was talking about people who did body augmentation surgery, which there's no problem with doing any of that. I don't really care. We live in Miami, the plastic capital of the world, but at the same time, it also, it's just like it was saying, it was like, don't go and damage that too, right? Like, if you're going to go and you're going to make these changes and you're going to do these things, like, don't go and ruin that also. A lot of people, they go and they do all this work and then they ruin that because they don't keep the eating habits. They don't keep the exercise. They don't keep those regimens. So if you're going to, be authentic in a certain way, go ahead and do it. No problem. But stay transparent with your people, right? Like, just make sure that people, know that like what they're getting. Again, you don't have to tell people about everything that you're doing, but at the same time, like, just be transparent with it. Take it as you will. Take it with a grain of salt. That's just my take on that, right? Authenticity builds trust. That's just how it is, right? The more polished the video is, right, the less people will feel like it's actually like real. What do I mean by that? Yesterday, go to the reel that we have that, you know, kind of blew up. It's a little blurry, like a tiny little bit blurry. It's not like 100% blurry, but it's like maybe 10% blurry, right? And that was like an honest mistake, right? The videographer sent us the wrong quality and we downloaded it and then it went through text message. So it kind of got a little pixelated, but it worked out really, really well because as much as it was filmed, you know, using professional recording equipment, at the same time, people also felt like, yeah, okay, this is kind of cool, right? And there was a lot of good energy in that video too. So people just, you know, were very excited about everything that we were sharing on that video. Authenticity and transparency will always trump skill. Remember that. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here at the end of our call. We are only just about 5 minutes over time, which isn't all that long considering the fact that I've done this in the past and we've had like so much longer, you know, drawn out times. So I'm very happy that, you know, we're able to finish this sort of on time. Are there any questions or is there anything that I can answer before we all continue moving along with our day, head out to appointments and continue crushing it? That's awesome. You know, a speaking coach that I had who taught me really how to do, you know, just get better in my delivery told me that the last slide, Tony, is all my contact information. Glad that you can see that last slide. I had a speaking coach that told me that if people don't have questions, it's either because you did a really good job in delivery or you lost them 30 minutes ago. So I really hope that it was the first option. And I really hope that, you know, this was just very helpful. I go live on Facebook just because most of my following is on Facebook. Most of the people that I interact with are on Facebook. Instagram lives are really cool as well. If you have a following or if you want to test it out, by all means, go right ahead. You know, you also have like StreamYard and different types of websites that you can use that will actually plug you into multiple different places at the same time. They're all subscription based. Some of them don't always work just because the APIs, the codes that websites like Facebook and Instagram use to communicate and share data with each other are always getting changed. So sometimes it's a little hard to multiple stream. But if you're able to do that, then by all means, go right ahead and, you know, try to stream wherever you can. Figure out where your audience is. And the best way to be able to do that is whatever platform you choose, do the action consistently for 7 days and see how people respond, see how people react. If you get more engagement in one place, continue building it over there, right? Because at the end of the day, like there's no need to reinvent the wheel. If people are telling you that they're interested in seeing your content in a specific platform, play to it. Make that happen, right? And that is pretty much it for me here today. Thank you very much for joining this class. If there's anything that I can do to be of help to you in any way, shape, or form, Google me, find my information, hit me up. See you on the next one.